Good morning, dear students. This is computer class for class 9. Last day we discussed about concepts of objects and classes. We have also seen that how objects encapsulate state and behavior. Today we will see some more elementary concept of objects and classes. In this, we will see that how a message can be passed between the objects. It means how one object can pass the message, how one object can communicate with another object. So, objects can communicate with each other by passing messages in the same way as people pass messages to one another. So kindly open page number 39. So one real life example is given in your book that a teacher, which is an object, can communicate through another object, which is student. She can give the test paper to solve, and this is the example of message passing between objects. Means this is a message passing example between objects, two objects, teacher and student. Here teacher can communicate and she can say to solve the test paper to the student. Means she can pass her message to another object, student. We can take one more example of message passing between objects. For example, if in a company there can be salary department, account department. So, salary department wants some information from the accounts department. But he cannot bring those information directly from that department. First, he should follow some procedure. He has to ask some request. He has to issue letter to proper authority, and after taking permission, now he can gain the information from account department. Here we can think that one object is, first object is account department and second object is salary department. So salary department want the information from second object, account department. Account department can give the information to salary department, but after following the procedure. Okay, so in this way objects can provide this approach of message passing, but in a safe way. It should be the safe exchange of information and data, because data safety, data security is very important in object oriented programmings. So this is the concept of message passing between objects. We can pass the message but in a safe way. Now we will learn something more about the abstraction. You all know that abstraction refers to the act of representing only the essential feature without including the background details. But this abstraction can be different on the basis of perspective of the viewer. Okay, it means that there can be multiple abstraction of the same entity if viewers are looking in a different perspective. It means different users can have their different requirement. They can have their different way of abstraction. For example, there is a class aeroplane, but there can be different type of users. To use a same class aeroplane, there can be different type of users. It can be first user can be air traveler, second can be a pilot, third can be an engineer. Each of these users, or you can say these viewers, they look the same aeroplane in a different perspective. In this way, the way of their abstraction means the way of their requirement to separate uh, the abstraction can be different. We will see with the perspective of an aeroplane engineer. What is his requirement? He will check the main body structure, is this okay or not? That's why he will check the frame. He will check the cutouts. He will also check the wing structure, spare parts, ribs, flaps. He will check the tail structure. It means his requirement is related to main body structure, wing structure, tail structure and about the engines. If we will talk about the second user, second viewer, air traveler, he require only the comfort and facilities. So he will deal only with the seat type, mid-air facilities, refreshment and food choices. He don't have any other type of requirement. Means his way of abstraction will be of course different. Now if we will talk about third users, he is pilot, and what will be his abstraction? He wants the information about system, radar display, then navigation controls, then control wheels. These are the requirement of pilot. Means his way of perspective, his perspective will be different. So that's why he want different type of abstraction also. So for same aeroplane, different users can have their different way of view. They can be their different type of requirements, and that's why they can have their different abstraction. Because each user want the information according to his requirement, necessary information but only according to his requirement. So way of abstraction will also be different for the different users. Okay. So in this way you can see that there can be three different classes to represent each abstraction. These three different classes, it means an engineer, an air traveler and a pilot, these three are the three different classes, and their way of abstraction from the class aeroplane will be different. So we have to create these three different classes according to the requirement. Now we will see, but one more thing. So these three classes will represent only one entity, that is aeroplane. But their way of abstraction is different, so we will deal with three different classes. Next topic we will see about the objects are instances of the classes. Objects are instances of the classes. So you know that once a class will be designed, and based on that class multiple objects will be created. Based on the design of that class multiple objects will be created. For example, there is a class cookie cutter. It is designed and based on this design of cookie cutter, we will design different objects as multiple cookies. There can be different type of objects, multiple cookies. So one class cookie cutter can have number of objects, number of multiple cookies. So on the basis of same class we can create multiple objects. Here classes are just the conceptual entities. Classes are just the concept. But who will convert it into the reality, that is object. So objects are the real entities and classes are just the conceptual entities. If we will take one more example, it is about the shape. Shape is a class. This is just a concept that there can be a shape, but in different mind there can be different type of shape. In one mind maybe one object will be created, one shape will be created, triangle. In different mind, in second mind, there can be second object, square. In third object, we can assume about a shape of circle. In fourth, we can assume about the fourth object, that is rectangle. So these all are real entity. Shape is just a concept. So in this way you can say that an object would have all the attributes defined in the class with a proper value attached to it. But it will define the real entity. It will define the real entity, and each and every object is created by the data members and member functions. This can be encapsulated in a single unit, that is called the class. Okay. Now let's revise what we have done in this chapter. We learned that an object is an identifiable entity with some characteristics and behavior, and the state of the object is represented through the values or attributes, and the data of an object can be accessed through the member functions, and these member functions are also called methods. So the real world objects are implemented in software form by representing their state. State will be represented through variables, or you can say data items, and behavior will be represented through methods, or you can say member functions. Objects can interact with each other, they can communicate with each other by using message passing concept. A class represents a set of objects, and in object oriented programming objects are defined by the class. Class is known as the object factory, and from a class multiple objects can be created, and these objects are instance of the class. So in this way your chapter 3 is over. Next day we will start chapter 4. That time have a great day. Thank you.